Hello, this is Dr. Ted Ellis, core faculty in the College of Arts and Sciences for the University of Arizona Global Campus. Today, Dr. Tim Rice and I will discuss, through this brief video, items that may assist you as you prepare for this year's UAGC Research Symposium. We begin with an expression of appreciation for the work of Dr. Peggy Sundstrom and the many efforts of others as well to advance this symposium. We also note our appreciation for your participation in this year's University of Arizona Global Campus Research Symposium. In this video, we will discuss thoughts on your approach to this year's UAGC Research Symposium, and the discussion is meant to complement other available instructions and materials. Again, please note our enthusiasm for this event and our interest in your participation. Please review instructions and guidelines on presentation content that have been sent to you. Let us first discuss format for the UAGC Research Symposium and technical considerations. Be sure to review available presentation materials, including, for example, e-poster guideline materials for the Research Symposium, which offer links to software options and guidance on standards for e-poster submission. Familiarizing yourself with options and making a decision early in this regard will allow for more time to focus on constructing your presentation. As part of your preparation, review symposium guidelines and materials. If you have questions or need assistance with technical preparation, please contact your coach. Second, consider the time allotment for presentations for the Research Symposium. Structure your slides so that the most important parts of your work are represented in accordance with a time allotment. Please review symposium materials on citing, references, and building a presentation. Third, prepare a transcript for your presentation for accessibility. A transcript in the form of a Word document attachment that includes the text for your verbal presentation could benefit the organization of your symposium presentation so that important points receive attention or placement. A transcript will also allow you to practice and to pace your slides in line with the time allotment. A transcript will allow for accessibility for those with accessibility and/or access needs. Fourth, practice presenting. If you are presenting an e-poster, practice before recording. And if you are presenting online live, practice your presentation. You may wish to practice with your coach, who can then offer feedback. Remember to speak clearly and to allow time between points so that those reviewing your presentation may absorb the material. Fifth, if you are presenting live, be prepared to answer questions and ask your coach to anticipate questions that may be asked. Work with your coach to think about questions that may be asked. As a final consideration, remember that your participation in the UAGC Research Symposium will enhance this event. Dr. Tim Rice will now discuss insights on preparation.
Thanks, Dr. Ellis. Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Rice, and I serve as a lead faculty member for the Doctor of Psychology program here at UAGC. I wanted to take some time today to share some tips on how you can do a great job in presenting your research during the upcoming Research Symposium. Congratulations, by the way, on being selected to present, and thanks to your faculty coach who is going to help you prepare for this awesome opportunity. As you develop your PowerPoint, it is important to focus on several things. First, it is important to minimize verbosity. In other words, minimize the words you use. The slides are there to support what you are saying, not to say it for you. Next, it is important to keep your word count low and only place one main point on a slide, plus 3 to 5 subpoints if absolutely needed. Make sure to pare the text to as few words as possible, using what is there only to emphasize and reinforce, not replace the words coming out of your mouth. Next, and this one is essential as a presenter, make sure to know your audience. Do not speak over their heads. Make sure the information fits the audience. Next, be creative in your design. When you are developing your PowerPoint, make sure to use visuals. I have found that graphic elements can help the audience remember what you said in the presentation thereafter. Also, they keep the attention of the audience, which is a very good thing. One other thing is to make sure that the text and visuals you use are large enough for the audience to be able to read them. Also, I would offer this tip to make sure when you highlight something you're talking about, use bold type or different colors to highlight any keywords or segments in any of your slides. Now, you may be thinking, how am I going to get all this information into a 25-minute presentation? It can be challenging, no doubt. One thing I ask my presenters to do when I'm coaching them is this. Look at it like you're adjusting your research from its full size to smaller size for publication. This is going to take some time to narrow down your entire study, but it will be worth it. Work with your faculty mentor to practice the presentation at least 2 times before it is showtime, and do at least 2 to 3 run-throughs on your own. It is all about repetition and patience. So, do at least 2 or 3 run-throughs on your own before your practice run-throughs with your coach. Time yourself each time you go through it. Lastly, and this is something that I've coached a lot of my past presenters to improve upon, do not forget to sell your presentation. Have a slide at the start telling the audience about who you are. Do not need to include all of your life's history or story. Just choose to include information that is relevant to the audience. Dr. Ellis and I are excited for your upcoming presentation. We both know it will be an interesting presentation for your audience.